everyone, welcome to my channel, Nan's English Language Programs. If you are a language teacher and if you plan lessons regularly and you think writing lesson aim is challenging, you should definitely watch this video until the end. This is me, Nan Yu, who is going to present some knowledge about teaching and English grammar and language expressions. I have started teaching English language since 2019, and when I did the CELTA course, writing lesson aim was totally a disaster because of the writing lesson aims and procedures. However, a framework that I have recently discovered from the teaching training saved me to write the lesson aim properly. That framework has a great impact on my writing lesson aim. Do you know what saved me? Okay, teachers. So here today I'm going to talk about Bloom's taxonomy, the key to smarter lesson aims. So the Bloom taxonomy is something that saved my life when I write the lesson aims during these days. So let's get started. Before we explore about the Bloom taxonomy, I want you to find out some of the lesson aims that I wrote 2 years ago. So I will show you the lesson aims. Look at the lesson aims and do you think lesson aims are specific or general? So I'm going to show 4 lesson aims. Okay, the first one. You can read the main aims and the secondary aim, and then you can analyze whether the lesson aims are specific or general. Well, teachers, let's go to the second one. So you can look at the main aim and the secondary aim. Okay, teachers, let's go to the third one. You can look at the main aim and secondary aim. Okay, teachers, let's go to the last one then. You can look at the main aim and the secondary aim. Okay, after reading and analyzing the main aims and the secondary aim, do you think lesson aims are specific or general? Yes, you're right, teachers. So they all are the general ones because I didn't write according to their students' cognitive skills, and then I didn't consider some of the production stages or something like that. I just wrote the general ones. So to be honest, I couldn't write the lesson aim properly. So I just show you some examples of the weak lesson aims that I wrote 2 years ago. Okay, so the problem was all of the lesson aims couldn't provide and couldn't promote the students' cognitive skills such as creativity, and then logical thinking skills and analyzing skills and the other cognitive skills. Okay, so let's go to the next one then, teachers. Okay, teachers, this time let's discover what is Bloom's taxonomy. So let me provide some of the introduction about Bloom's taxonomy. So that is the framework created by Benjamin Bloom in 1956. And I can also see the revision about that one in the article in 2001. So that is the framework for the educational goal. So especially creating the aims. So that is really suitable and appropriate to consider for the students and for the teachers. So it can be really beneficial for designing educational training and learning processes because there are altogether six cognitive skills, and we have to consider these six cognitive skills when we want to provide the educational objectives or training outcomes and learning processes. So, like I said before, it is classified thinking into six cognitive levels. So they all are the really appropriate for the critical thinking skills and creativity, especially for the learners. It helps structural learning, teaching, and assessment. So we can use Bloom taxonomy not only in the writing lesson A, but also for the learning process and for the assessment as well. We can also consider some of the points for the assessment. So let me go to the next one then, teachers. This time, I'm going to present the pyramid of the Bloom taxonomy. So you can find six stages over there and put the correct stages in Bloom's taxonomy diagram from the LOTS to the HOTS. LOTS refer to lower order thinking skills and HOTS refer to higher order thinking skills. So could you put the stages of these things in the pyramid? So I give you a few minutes to put in the correct order. So you can start from the purple color to the red color. Okay, teachers, I hope you have already got all the stages in your mind. Okay, let's get started again. So the first one, the purple color, from the lower order thinking skills. So among them, what could it be? Yes, you're right. Remembering. So the very first and foremost step is like remembering. So it's like after teaching the grammar point or after teaching a vocabulary, so students have already remembered them in their mind, but they won't use it in their daily life. So unless they use them in their daily life, they won't remember easily. So at first, most teachers should recall their memory, what they have remembered in the previous lesson. So that is called recall specific facts. So let's go to the second stage. So in the second stage, blue color, that is, yes, understanding. So after remembering the grammar lesson or the vocabulary items or lexical items, they should understand the meaning. Okay, so although they remember in their mind, sometimes they won't understand the exact meaning or the correct meaning. So make sure that teachers give the correct meaning of the grammar lesson or maybe the vocabulary or lexical items. Okay, so the first step is trying to recall their memory and then trying to grasp the meaning of the lexical items or the grammar lesson. So that is for their understanding stage. So let's go to the thought stage, teachers. So for the green area, so what stage would you like to put? Yes, teachers, you're right. Applying. Okay, use information in a new situation. So it's like, so after remembering, so they have already recalled their memory. After understanding the meaning again, so they also have to apply that grammar item or that lexical item in the real world, in the situation, in the real situation. Okay, so maybe creating some of the sentences by using the grammar pattern, or maybe you can also provide some of the questions so that the students can use the lexical item or the grammar structure in the questions. Okay, maybe they can take turn asking to each other. They can ask and they can answer the questions together. After ask and answering the control practice, or maybe in the freer practice, so they may apply the grammar rule or lexical item on their own. So let's go to the yellow stage this time. Yes, teachers, you're right. That is analyzing, taking apart the known and identifying the relationships. So it means after applying the lexical item or the vocabulary or maybe the grammar structures, they should analyze what they have found out. Okay, so for example, after learning past simple tense and present perfect tense, students should analyze what the difference between them is, and then they also have to analyze the usage. One they have to use the past simple tense, one they have to use the present perfect tense. So after analyzing and getting the meaning again, so they will be familiar with the usage, and then they will know the difference between the grammar structures. So they should analyze between the two grammar structures so that they won't be so that they won't be confused anymore. So let's go to the orange step this time. Examine information and make judgments. That is evaluating. Okay, so after analyzing the grammar structures, they should evaluate. Sometimes they should evaluate something. So for example, like the sentences. So here in the applying stage, they have already asked and answered some of the questions using the target language, right? So based on their sentences, they have asked and answered individual or in pairs. So maybe they can evaluate whether their peers sentences are right or wrong, grammatically right or wrong. So maybe they can evaluate like that. Okay, the last step, the red color. That is the most important stage for the higher level thinking skills. So that is creating. Okay, so they have remembered the vocabulary or the grammar pattern. Okay, they got the meaning of the grammar pattern and vocabulary, and they have applied in some of the sentences form or something like that. And they have analyzed maybe the difference between the other words or the grammar structures, and they have evaluated whether the sentences they have applied are right or wrong. Okay, in the end, they should create by using that grammar pattern or by using the vocabulary items, lexical items. They have to create something unusual. So it's like creating. Okay, so it's like creating the story or creating the PowerPoint slides or creating the presentation or creating blog posts or something like that by using the grammar pattern or by using the target language they have already learned. So by doing so, they have covered every single thing from the lower order thinking skills to the higher order thinking skills. Okay, to promote the lower order thinking skills, so it's just remember, understand meaning, and apply them in the control way. But we have to promote students' higher order thinking skills, so that students can analyze, students can evaluate, and students can create something on their own in the real world, so that they can apply all of the things properly in the real world. After reflecting the Bloom taxonomy, I just reflect on my own writing aim. So in my uh, lesson aims that I wrote 2 years ago, most of the lesson aims are ended up remembering stage, understanding stage, and applying stage. So I think I still need to write the lesson aims that is promoting higher order thinking skills until the creativity. So maybe instead of using these 3 stages, maybe we have to encourage these 3 stages: analyzing, evaluating, and creating, so that we can promote students' cognitive skills. That is the real main aim of our lessons. Well, teachers, after talking about the Bloom taxonomy pyramid and it's related to the writing aim, so we will move on to the next one then. This time, I'm going to share the bars that you can use in writing lesson aims using the Bloom taxonomy. The first step is remember, right? So when you want to write the lesson aim related to the remember, right? You can use list, define, and recall. For example, you can write down, students will be able to list 5 transition words. So for the second step, understanding, you can use explain and summarize. For example, students will be able to explain the use of the past continuous tense in their own words. Okay, for the third step, the bars you can use can be, in the applying stage, use and demonstrate. For example, in the end of the lessons, by the end of the lesson, students will be able to use conditionals in role play. So for the fourth stage, you can use such kinds of bars such as compare and differentiate. For example, compare two writing samples. So students will be able to compare two writing samples. The next step is evaluate. So for the evaluation stage, you can use judge or critic. For example, students will be able to evaluate a peer's paragraph. So for the last step, you can use, especially the creative stage, you can use design and write. For example, students will be able to write a short story using the narrative tenses. So if you know such kinds of bars, you don't need to think a lot and you don't need to think about the other areas such as, okay, so for example, you're using the word define or recall the vocabulary. So you may know that if you use recall as the verb in your lesson aim, that is, your lesson aim is just the remembrance stage. So that is in the lower order thinking skills. So you should use the alternative verb such as design or write or judge or critic or something like that. Maybe you can identify your verbs again, and then you can replace with the other higher order thinking skills verbs. Okay, teachers. So let's go to the next one then. Okay, teachers, this time by using the bars you have learned, I want you to develop the lesson plan's main aim. So this is the lesson plan main aim I showed you in the beginning of the video. So I want you to develop especially the bars area. So instead of using students will be able to understand the frequency of adverbs. Actually, understand is just the lower order thinking skill level. So you should change it into the higher order thinking skill level. But for the secondary aim, yes, you can use lower order thinking skills levels such as remember, apply, okay, and then remember, understand, and apply. Okay. For the secondary A, you can use remembrance, understanding, and applying. But for the main aim, you should use higher order thinking skills level, such as analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So I want you to change the main aim and the secondary aim by using such kinds of verbs. So I give you a few minutes to um, develop. Okay, teachers. So I give you a few minutes here. Okay, teachers. So this time I'm going to suggest some of the main aim for this lesson plan. So the first one is by the end of the lessons, students will be able to explain what bars of frequencies are and to compare and describe the pictures in the context of doing hobbies. So in this lesson aim, do you think the teachers can promote students' cognitive skills until the higher order thinking skills? Yes, because of explaining and compare and describe the pictures. So they are the bars, especially for the higher order thinking skills. Okay. So at first, explaining students have to recall their memory back. After recalling their memory, so they have to describe the pictures by using adverbs of frequency. So this lesson aim is appropriate for both higher level thinking skill and lower level thinking skills. So let me show you secondary aim as well. To recall the adverbs of frequency from the recording about people's hobby. So it shows that students have to listen to the recording about people's hobby. And then students have to recall the adverbs they have heard from the listening audio. So this one is quite appropriate for the higher order thinking skills and lower order thinking skills as well. So for the main aim, yes, it can promote higher order thinking skill. For the secondary aim, it can promote students' lower order thinking skills. So if you combine them, yes, it will be the complete Bloom taxonomy writing aim. So teachers, let's go to the next one then. Okay, teachers, so the next one is Here, main aim, you will see main aim and the secondary aim. So I want you to develop by using the verbs you have learned. So instead of using listen to the interview and blah, 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 and secondary aim, students will be able to describe. So how could you develop it by using the higher order thinking skills verbs and lower order thinking skill verbs? So I give you a few minutes for that. Okay, teachers, this time I would like to suggest some of the main aims you can develop. So the first one is, by the end of the lesson, students will be able to write a short summary of the radio interview about leisure activities, demonstrating the speaker's opinion and attitude in their own words. So here, in this main aim, here, right, the bar right is suitable for the creativity. Okay, so the next one is, yes, I think this lesson aim is really appropriate for the higher order thinking skills. Okay, so what about the secondary aim? So, to list the words and the phrases of leisure activities and use them in the discussion questions. So list the words or phrases. So this bar is during the stage of lower order thinking skills. So yes, as the secondary aim, it's fine if you use the lower order thinking scale bars. Okay, so I think that in the main aim, it can promote the students' cognitive skills, and in the secondary aim, it can promote the cognitive skills as well. So both are well structured by using the Bloom taxonomy. Let's go to the next one then, teachers. So for the next one, I want you to develop the main aim and the secondary aim. So instead of using, students will be able to read the article about hobbies, sand sculptures, and students will be able to express their opinions about the sand sculptures. So they are quite general. So I want you to use and change it by promoting the students' cognitive skills, such as creativity and analyzing skills. Okay, teachers, so let's discover from my suggestion. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to judge on the writer's hobby of building sand sculptures and design the sand sculpture at home. So here I use the verb judge. So judge is one of the higher order thinking skills. So that is appropriate to use in the main aim. So what about the secondary aim? So in the secondary aim, students will be to explain the writer's opinion in their own words after skimming. So after skimming the passage, so students will be able to explain the writer's opinions in their own words. So it's related to understanding the meaning Okay, so understanding the meaning is the lower order thinking skill. So after that, students have to judge on the writer's hobby. So that is the higher order thinking skill. So both of the aims can promote both lower order and higher order thinking skills. So let's go to the next one, teachers. After developing the lesson aim, I want you to find out why it's important in teaching. Okay, so if you use the Bloom taxonomy in writing lesson plan, in lesson plan, especially writing aims, so it can help writing clearer and more effective lesson aims because you can write down, you can think of the production stage in the end. Okay, not only the production stage, but also understanding, remembering, understanding, and applying stages as well. So the second one is it can encourage deeper learning and critical thinking. So after remembering and understanding, students have to analyze and evaluate, and finally they have to create into their own product. So I think a Bloom taxonomy can be helpful for the teachers and learners so that they have got the deeper learning and critical thinking uh, in their learning process. So the third one is it aligns activities with measurable outcomes. So for example, in the remembering stage, so maybe students have to remember something, and after remembering, they have to try to explain the meaning in their own words, so it can be related to their understanding. So after that, students have to apply in the real world. Okay, after applying, the process is not ending. So they have to continue to the next step that is like analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So all of the activities are linked to promote the students' cognitive skills. So because it can promote the cognitive skills, we can produce some measurable outcomes for the learners as well. So the last step is it supports lesson planning and assessment design. So yes, we have already discussed that. So in the lesson planning, we have to think not only remembering and understanding, we have to think for the creativity as well. Creativity is the most important skill in the learning process. So we have to consider the most important one as the creativity instead of ending up with um, understanding and applying. Okay, so let's go to the next one then, teachers. Okay, before ending this video, I want you to create on your own, create a lesson plan main aim and secondary aim on your own by using the bars you have learned from the Bloom taxonomy stages. Okay, the topic is like creating a story of a rainy day. The task the students have to do is write a description of a rainy day, problems and solution of the main character as well. So the assessment in the end should be peer feedback using a checklist. So students have to do on their own as the self-assessment. So for the main aim and for the secondary aim, so how would you provide? So I give you a few minutes to think on your own for this lesson. So you can create it. Okay, teachers. So this time we are going to check whether your main aim and secondary aims are similar to me or not. Okay, main aim. By the end of the lesson, students will be able to create an imaginative story about a rainy day, including a proper beginning and ending, and using the correct past tense and the past continuous tenses. Okay, so in this lesson aim, so it can promote higher order thinking skills because of using the word create. Okay, let's go to the secondary aim. To analyze their peer story and judge on the content of the grammar. So in this secondary aim, so we focus on analyzing and judging. So that is also promoting the students' higher order thinking skills. Oh, so let's go back to main aim again. So not only the higher order thinking skills, but also the lower order thinking skills is also promoted because of using the correct past tense and past continuous tense. So that is like we are going to recall the memory about the past simple tense and past continuous tense first. After recalling the memory about the tenses, we are going to assign the writing task to create an imaginative story. So this main aim can promote both higher order thinking and lower order thinking skills. So for the secondary aim, so it's promoting analyzing and judging. So it's promoting students' higher order thinking skills. So teachers, I hope you can create the main aims and the secondary aims properly by using the Bloom taxonomy and by using the barbs I have suggested before. Okay, last but not least, I would like to conclude my video by mentioning some of the thoughts and takeaway for you. So Blooms helps make learning goals visible and measurable. So it's like so after creating the lesson aim by using the Bloom taxonomy, our aim is more measurable and is more effective than before because we can promote higher order thinking skills. So I want you to start your planning with the right aim by using the Bloom taxonomy and use the Bloom's barbs to ensure clarity and focus. So sometimes if you use some of the barbs incorrect way, so the aim could be different or the aim could be changed from the higher order to lower order thinking skills. So make sure you use the barbs which can promote the higher order thinking skills. So for example, like analyzing, evaluating, or maybe creating, designing, or something like that. Okay. So the last point I want to say is that if you can create the main aim that is really measurable, so it can aim higher for the students' deeper learning. So it's promoting the students' creativity and then critical thinking skills. So I feel like Bloom taxonomy is a really effective for writing lesson A. So I want you to uh, revise before you write the lesson A. Well, teachers, that's all about writing lesson plan main aim and the secondary aim using the Bloom taxonomy. I hope you gain something valuable from my video. Thank you so much for watching this video until the end. So in the future, I hope you can create the lesson plan main aim and the secondary aim by using the Bloom taxonomy. Make sure you revise the Bloom taxonomy pyramid and all the barbs before you write down the main aim and the secondary aim. So if you are really interested in this video, please like and share and please like and subscribe to my channel. Thank you again for watching this video. See you soon in the next video.